remind you of this because you've got to stay determined. If you're asking yourself how bad do you want it, then you've got to push. Galatians 6:9 says, listen, so let's not get tired of doing what is good. In other words, Paul is saying, don't let yourself get worn out because you're looking around thinking, this ain't working. I done hung in there like the preacher told me. I fasted for a week like the preacher told me. I didn't do this, I didn't do that, and nothing is working. Paul says, listen, don't give up on that. Don't give up on doing what's right. He says, listen, at the just right time, you'll reap it. In other words, God is saying, just when you get to the place where you're about to give up, I'm going to catch you. Just when you get to the place where you're hanging on a cliff and you begin to drop, God says, I got you. He says, I'll come in and renew your faith. I'll come in and restore you. I'll come in and show you. You got more inside of you, baby, than you think you do. I've come in to remind you. You're thinking about how far you got to go. But let's just turn around for a second and look at how far you've come from. You're talking about everything you're dealing with now. God says, but how about all the things I've allowed you to overcome? You keep saying, here we go again. God keeps saying, if you got over the last one, you'll get over this one. I've allowed you to get victory in that one. I'm going to cause you to dominate this one. How bad do you want it? So I was thinking about when a woman has a baby. And I know all of you mothers in here will understand that. As a woman lays on the table to give birth, she gets to a place where she's pushing. Everybody in the room is screaming, push, push. And she said, I'm trying. And the more she pushed, she sometimes gets to this place where she just gets tired. She doesn't have any energy. You've been making me chew on ice cubes for the last 10 hours. I ain't had nothing to eat, but you keep telling me to push. You don't understand how tired I am. And I hear somebody saying, I'm tired in the spirit. And the woman says, you don't understand how much this hurts. And every now and then the doctor looks at her with a straight face and says, if you don't push, the baby's going to die. I came by here to tell somebody, if you don't keep pushing, that which God has ordained for you is going to die. If you don't hang in there, that which God has ordained for you to live in is going by the wayside. You've got to push. But then God showed it to me from another side. Notice this. When you're in your room, you got the doctor saying, push, man. Push, darling. Push, push, push. And most of the time, you got the husband sitting there holding the wife's hand. And he's trying to push strength in her. Baby, I love you. Baby, I thank you for this. You're giving me a child. Thank you, baby. I love you. And he's wiping her face. And he's doing all these things. And if he's a man of God, he's sitting there praying. But God showed me something. It doesn't matter how much the doctor says push. It doesn't matter what the husband says holding her hand. He can sit there and read her scriptures. He can sit there and encourage her until there's nothing left to say. But if she doesn't push, and I'm trying to tell you, I'm telling you to be connected to the right person. I'm telling you to be in the right church. But baby, if you don't push for yourself, if you don't be determined to make it for yourself, it does not matter who you call late in the midnight hour. It does not matter who inboxes you and tells you they're praying for you. It does not matter who your pastor or your first lady is. You've got to be determined to push. How bad do you want it?